So thank you so much, Orla, for coming on today. I know you were chatting to Laura Lee previously just there about celiac awareness, which is brilliant. I just wanted to have a chat with you today just about, we would get a lot of students coming through who are studying nutrition at the minute. And I just wanted to talk to you about how you found from studying nutrition, doing your master's degree and going into employment, and if you have any advice and tips for these students coming through. So can you start us off just by telling us a bit about your experience? What led you into the role you're currently in at the minute, and what this role involves as well?
Yes. As you mentioned, I studied nutrition. I studied human nutrition at Ulster University, and then I actually went on to study my master's degree in health promotion and public health, also at Ulster University. So my first role then, when I graduated from my master's, was with Bupa. So I worked as a health advisor there, and I did that for nearly 3 years. Very much nutrition-based role, a lot of private health checks, a lot of lifestyle behaviour change, healthy lifestyle advice, which was really, really enjoyable, and really hit the ground running with that role. It was very full on. Yeah. Then what I actually decided to do was move away from the private sector and go into the public sector. So I took a role as a promoting wellbeing officer. Okay. So that was with the Southern Trust, and that was a completely different role. So very much community based, was working in neighbourhood renewal areas, was working with disadvantaged communities, very much community on the ground, and connecting those communities to health and wellbeing programs. So different to my first role, which is very much private, sort of the worried well health type clients to kind of community disadvantaged communities. So got a lot out of that. And that has then led me to my current role. So I work for a well-known charity in Northern Ireland as a health promotion officer, and that role is so multifaceted. So I would be doing health checks, health talks, webinars and health workshops, and I do them in workplaces, community groups, homeless settings and schools as well. So that's my current role.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for going through that. It seems like your experience has been definitely very thorough as well. It's going from private to public and that sort of thing. So very well rounded. And can you tell me a bit about what encouraged you to study nutrition and what led you into that field of study?
Yeah, so in school, I absolutely loved home economics. So it was my favourite subject, had an absolute passion for it, but particularly around studying the nutrients. And I also was more of a science girl. And then when we had to do those quizzes that you have to fill in to kind of give you your top 5 career paths, every time I did it, the first 2 that would come up would be either nutritionist, dietitian, or like biomedical scientist. And that sort of confirmed for me that it was a career that would really suit me. And so I just went for it. So that's sort of why I went into it, really. I do have a passion for food as well, but I think that developed more as I studied the degree. So I wouldn't say just straight off the bat, I was madly passionate about food, but I had a keen interest in it. And then as the sort of studying progressed, I sort of thought, yeah, this is for me.
Brilliant. And then once you'd done your undergrad and then you went on to do a master's as well, did you feel like that master's was essential for going on into future employment, or was that something that you just felt, this might open more doors, or I'm just really interested in doing the master's?
I felt it would open more doors. So certain workplaces, particularly health promotion roles, even though a master's degree is under desirable criteria as opposed to essential criteria, it's what will separate you out from the other competition and just give you that extra edge. And within that master's degree, you've got a little bit of work experience as well. And I just felt it would open more doors for me. And I would meet different people from different backgrounds in the master's degree to kind of network as well. Whereas in your undergrad, you're at uni, you're having fun. Whereas the master's degree was a lot more serious, lots of different demographics, age groups, and it kind of gave you that opportunity to broaden your horizons and see more options out there.
Okay, brilliant. So making more connections as well throughout your studies. Brilliant. Perfect. And then, as I mentioned before, we would get a lot of students registering with ourselves that are currently studying nutrition. What would your best advice be for these students coming out after graduating in terms of employment?
So the very first thing I would say is volunteering, if you don't immediately go into employment, is so important. So from my studying my master's degree full time, I was also volunteering on the side, contacted loads of different health promotion charities, and also a lot of them have very good volunteering programs. And also I would have just got in touch with different nutrition companies in Northern Ireland, just went out of my way, emailed them and said, listen, you know, if you need any work experience, I'm here. So I did a good sort of 6 months to a year worth of volunteering, which was so important for my CV. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing I would definitely say is get involved with nutrition professionals on social media. I find very useful. So there's, believe it or not, and I only discovered this when I set up my Instagram last year, there's so many sort of nutrition graduate pages out there to kind of help support people that have studied nutrition, whether it's linking them to webinars or CPD or those different type of platforms where you can network. I would probably say things like LinkedIn, Instagram, those type of platforms can be very useful to connect you with other like-minded professionals for collaborations and that kind of thing.
Brilliant. Sound advice. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for coming on and chatting with me today. I really appreciate your time in doing that, and this information will definitely be useful for the students graduating this year. You had mentioned there your Instagram page as well, which I would recommend all the students to jump on and follow that just to keep up to date. But yes, no, thank you so much for your time today, and hopefully we'll catch up with you later on down the line as well.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.